It's my pleasure to introduce to you Fran Díaz, a Spanish choreographer who now lives in Germany. So maybe we can start with the simple question: how happens that the Spanish choreographer ended up in Germany? Of course, we know that dance world is international, but everybody's story is different. So maybe you can just tell us your.
Yeah. Well, I don't know also how it happened, but I guess yeah, I trained classical. I did classical training when I was growing up, and yeah, somehow I ended up in this like I ended up getting a scholarship to move to Toronto, and I studied there my last 3 years of dance studies, and yeah, somehow at some point I had to look for a job in Europe, and I guess Germany is one of the countries where there are more stable jobs in like dance companies and so on. So I ended up getting a job in Hanover back then, and I stayed. It's been 12 years now. Yeah, I've shifted through different institutions. Now I'm a freelancer and a choreographer, but I did dance for 10 years in Germany.
So you don't dance anymore, you just choreograph.
No, I don't dance anymore. I just choreograph. It felt quite clear for me in the last years of dancing. It was something I enjoyed a lot, and it taught me a lot as well. But somehow it was not giving me the creative agency that I was searching for. And yeah, somehow choreography felt like quite an organic step.
And it's for me, it's very interesting because your choreographic work is very diverse, because you work with big companies like Bavarian or Leipzig, but also you are creating this kind of independent work. So what is different from the point of view as a choreographer when you work for somebody or when you do this independent work?
There's so much that is different. But in one sense, it's like resources. I mean, like when you work with institutions, of course, there is most of the time a lot of resources, but there is also a lot of restrictions as well. And I don't know, there's no right or wrong, but I do enjoy creating in a freelance way a lot more somehow. Like, you have your team, you have your people that you feel comfortable with. It is very somehow it's a lot of work. You have to like do everything yourself, basically. It's like asking for funding, yeah, like things that you would never think you would do, like producing yourself your own things. And of course, little by little you find people that can help you and so on, but it really like learning a whole new job doing it freelance. Like you have to learn so many things at the same time, and it's quite rewarding in a way. But yeah, artistically I would say it's very fulfilling, but yeah, it's a lot of work.
And Born by the Sea is a duet, and it was presenting during the airwaves. Do you feel any support, like from the side, like presenting this piece, from the point of presenting this piece, airwave helped, or how it works? Because there are many dancers. I mean, some people also in Slovakia, they hesitate, or maybe they don't know. So was it helpful for you to be top 20 for this year?
Yeah, it was definitely very helpful, I would say, incredibly, actually. It's so funny because Born by the Sea was created with very, very little resources. It was requested by a theater, a very small theater in Hanover, where I used to live at the moment. And there was not a lot of budget, and there was only enough budget to actually pay my dancers. And I didn't even get paid myself for creating the piece. But it was like, I need to do it. I just need to get it out there. So yeah, a few months passed. I decided to apply to Airwaves with it, and yeah, it was incredible they got chosen. We already had quite a few shows, not only the Airwave shows, but we've performed in Croatia, in Mainz. We will be coming to Slovakia. We will be in Spain. And yeah, it is quite incredible that with a piece that was done with such a little resources, there's so much beautiful things came out of it. I also got a job creating for Hessische Staatsballett thanks to it. Yeah, it's been like really like
super. So I hope it will be encouraging for Slovak dancers and creators as well. And I have a question concerning this independent work. Do you have some dancers you work on more permanent basis, or you choose all the time somebody else depending on the topic or on the piece?
Mostly I have my team, my people that I feel like really comfortable with. I'm also open to like work with different people if the project requires it, of course. But yeah, I think it is important to create an atmosphere where you feel comfortable at work, and having your own people. It's really something very precious, I would say. Um, it's funny because the piece was created with two very good friends. Born by the Sea, and for different reasons, scheduling problems, because freelance life is crazy. Everyone is working with someone else. They all have different schedules. It's really hard to match everyone. So for reasons, schedule reasons, after the premiere of the piece, it has been performed by a different cast of dancers. And also it was quite beautiful to see the piece kind of like become something else again, like with different people.
And
Yeah,
the cast we will have in Bratislava is the same as at the Spring Forward, or is it different?
it's the same as Spring Forward.
Oh, super.
Yes, it's the same cast as
Yeah,
Spring Forward.
I like them very much. So maybe we can go to this piece, because you said something interesting to me, which is always, I think, behind every good work, like that you must do it. So what was the idea? Why you must made it?
Well, um, it was a personal piece. I would say it was the most personal piece I could have yeah, I don't know. In when you make other pieces somehow, like sometimes you relate to them afterwards, and you can see the personal like after a few months or something. But with this one, it was really coming from the process. It was part of the process, and it is related to the place I'm coming from, which is Murcia, a south a city in the south of Spain, which is somehow working class city. There are a lot of access to culture. Like it typically was an agricultural kind of section of the country. And I happened to be listening to this album, which was called "I Was Born by the Sea," by this artist Richie Culver. He's from Great Britain, England. Also from a very small town, like in the north of England, and working class background as well. And yeah, this album somehow it was in repeat, and it was resonating so much with my own experiences. And yeah, it was this fascination of like like finding these two different places, like the geographically and culturally don't have much in common, but I could still relate so much to what I was hearing. And during the piece, there is a text. His voice is always like is very present during the piece. And yeah, I don't know. The whole creation process was about trying to find like a tapestry of like moments and like feelings that would somehow like glue very well with the passages of text and sound, but at the same time that they would also create certain friction, you know. And yeah, I think it's quite an emotional, melancholic in some way work.
Great. And because I found that the movement you use, it's really very precise, and the dancers are really able to execute it very fast and very precisely. Is that the choreographic style you use to work, or it's something specific for this piece? This physicality, which is very precise, very fast, very organic, and nice. Yeah.
I think it is a mix of many things. Of course, like I think a lot of the people I've worked with and my influences are obviously there, and I'm very proud of them to be there. But also, it's also a style that I've developed over the years, just like picking and matching. I don't know. It's also, I would say sometimes it's hard. It's very precise, but it's also hard to put it into a certain category of like, is it contemporary dance? Is it like street dance? Is it like club dancing? You know, it's kind of like somewhere in between. And I feel like all those influence I've had it like throughout my life, you know, and yeah, it's been like just kind of like picking and matching things and trying to like create this like
together with the dancers, I guess. Yeah. No, because
hopefully
I think,
cohesive.
because when you work with dancers, you used to work. It's of course they're really, you know their bodies. They are of course part of the creative process, which is very different when you work maybe with some established companies, as you said. So yeah,
Exactly.
this chemistry between you, it's very visible in that final work. So I think, yeah. And from the point of I also like this type of working dress, unisex costumes they wear. And maybe you can also say something about the costumes and the music, because as you said, there is very important text, is a very important part of the work. So maybe how this was like developed together.
I would say the costumes, it was about, you know, finding something that would fit the atmosphere, you know. There is this like, we were having a lot of, with the light designers, where we were having a lot of flashbacks to like rainy kind of like rainwear kind of atmosphere, somehow like the cliffs in like North Britain or something like this, and we're very cloudy and wet, and so we were just trying to find something that would match that. I was trying to avoid genders in a sense with the costumes, because it was not about genders. It's really about like somehow two different individuals, and how they might always be like trying to find the right path or trying to match, but never. They all have like their dreams, their like lost futures. Everything is in their back somehow, and it's just like about maybe not being able to find the right path, or maybe their path was not there for them in the first place. But yeah, so for the costumes, it was about finding this like costume that would relate to the atmosphere of the piece, but at the same time make it quite like genderless. And yeah, the music, I don't know, the music really, it was it's the building block of the piece, let's say. I work often like this. I am a DJ. Since 12 years, I really have a huge passion on just like working through music and records and archiving them, and then like using DJ software to like mix and create narratives with them. And it has taught me a lot about choreography as well, because somehow it's all about, like you build abstract narratives with music, with DJing as well. It's about, okay, knowing the tools that allow you to work with people's attention, but also to subvert expectations somehow. So in that way, I find that often my first building block is like create a narrative already with the music, and then try to like build upon that. Things always change, of course, during the process when you work with the dancers. Things keep changing, but yeah, and in that sense, like Richie's music was so, it was saying so much already. It was really laying all the ground. So it was just relating to it somehow and finding things that would somehow contrast it. And I feel like the piece really is carried by this by this friction between what's going on in the sound and what you see actually, what the dancers are doing. And yeah.
Yeah, so I think we got some really nice insight into the piece. So I hope it will be a good invitation for people to come to see it. So we are really looking forward to have you in Bratislava, and thank you for this talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to come and perform there, and I hope people in Bratislava can enjoy it as much as I do, and as much as the dancers do, actually.
Yeah. I'm sure. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.